CEO.CA. My name is James Petham, and today I'm joined by Sophy Cesar. Sophy heads up corporate development at Canadian North Resources. Canadian North is a late-stage exploration and development company focused on critical minerals, including nickel, copper, cobalt, palladium, and platinum. They trade on the TSXV under the ticker CNRI. Sophy, it's great to have you with us today.
Thanks so much, James. Pleasure to be here.
So, Sophy, I'd like to start with the elevator pitch. So, could you tell us, a little bit more about Canadian North and why the retail investor crowd should be paying attention?
So, James, I think that the reason retail should be paying attention to this stock is because it's not like another junior mining stock. Everything that we've been able to accomplish in the last 18 months, we said we were going to, and we did it. So, we listed in April of 2022, and we went public with $22 million. We said we were going to release an updated 43101. We did. We then went ahead and had an aggressive drill season plan for 2022 and then again 2023. We surpassed both our expectations there. I think that with the fact that we're in Nunavut, which is an emerging mining district, the fact that we have a world-class resource, as you mentioned, of platinum, palladium, rhodium, cobalt, copper, nickel, it's really a stock that people should be looking at.
Great. So, I mean, there are a couple of points I want to follow up there. Especially we'll talk a little bit more about Nunavut in a bit. And I think you're right. It is very reassuring when companies are able to make bold commitments and follow through with them on schedule. But you're operating on your flagship project at Ferguson Lake. Could you tell us a little bit more about that project? What drew you in? Why is it a noteworthy asset? And what's some of the work that's been done?
So great. So the Ferguson Lake Project is actually not a new project. It's been around since the 1950s. It was first owned by Inco and more recently by Starfield Resources in the late 90s up until 2013 when we acquired the property. What's really interesting is all the work that's been done on it in terms of there was a historical 43101. It hadn't taken into account the palladium and the platinum. So when we acquired the project, there was 80% of the core that was there that was in impeccable condition. And we were able to take that and reassay that. And so the 43101 that we put out actually shows a potential for a high-grade open pit, the previous one didn't, of an indicated mineral resource of 22.4 million tons and an inferred estimate of 47.2 million tons. And we believe that shows this great upside to take that inferred into indicated with further drilling. And as you know, further drilling we've done. Up to date, I think we've done over 39,000 meters of diamond drilling.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge campaign and, very exciting to be, progressing through that development phase. Could you tell us a bit more about operating in Nunavut? So, in terms of relations with local groups or infrastructure, what does that look like having boots on the ground there?
So in terms of the area, it is an emerging mining district. We're surrounded by, and I invite people to check on our website, we have a map. We're surrounded by Glencore and Agnico Eagle. So there are big players in the area. And then another thing that we've done and we've worked really hard at since acquiring the property in 2013 is establishing those ties with the local community. And that's the Kilovak Inuit Association. So we have an excellent relationship in terms of communication. We do that through consultation. As well, we hire from the local workforce. So that's very important to us. ESG, also very important. So we have a wildlife monitor on site to monitor all the wildlife in and around camp. We take waste disposal seriously with recycling everything we can. What cannot be recycled gets shipped out to accredited facilities. And I think that you can really see that relationship and understand that there's a buy-in from the community. When you look at, we announced last year and again just recently this year that we've been awarded 2 years in a row the DIG grant. And that's $250,000 each year. So for a total of $500,000, that is just for exploration. And it's not given by the federal government, it's given by the local community. So I think that gives you an idea. In terms of our infrastructure, I think that this is something that really sets us apart. There's been over $190 million invested in our project. And all of that includes, obviously, since the inception, it's not all CNRI that's done it, but that includes a 55-person camp. That camp can run year round. We have two generators and a backup if we chose to. There's an 825-meter gravel runway that can land a Dash 7. There's numerous amount of buildings, all the heavy equipment we acquired with the project, and more recently, we actually bought 5 diamond drills that are on site. We had 4 running this year and 1 on maintenance all the time. So it really is, and not to sound cliche, but it's a cut above the rest, especially in that area for a small junior like us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having some of those resources already in place in terms of facilities that were built previously, or owning the diamond drills, I think definitely is advantageous when you're looking at your big exploration programs. And yeah, the dig grant, I haven't heard of that, but it definitely sounds like a stamp of approval from the government, and so definitely a step in the right direction. Could you tell us maybe a little bit over the next 6 to 12 months? What can we expect from Canadian North in terms of major milestones or news flow?
So one of the things that we've been very vocal about, and we actually just announced it, we hired an engineering firm to update our 43101. So as I previously mentioned, the 43101 that we filed last year, that was all the historical drilling that had been done. So now we're going to update our 43101 with the 39 plus thousand meters of drilling that Canadian North has done. And what we're hoping to do, as I mentioned, is to take that inferred into indicated and to actually also grow the resource. So what we did is the drilling that we did, we went into Ferguson Lake this year and we actually expanded the known mineralized zone by 700 meters from the east to the west and 800 meters from the west to the east.
Yeah, it's that's very exciting, and definitely sounds like we're entering kind of a new phase of the company's lifespan. So just to end up on, when people on CEO.CA are looking at Canadian North and thinking about the company, what is one thing that they should bear in mind, and one thing that should really be a salient fact when they're keeping your company in mind doing due diligence?
Well, James, it's hard to just give you one, but I think the fact that we were able to go public with $22 million, raise another $18 million this last year through flow through financing and charity flow through, as well as an early exercise from warrants from insiders. I think it shows a great support from insiders. I mean, add that to the fact that we're looking at, a potential blue sky of 100 million tons. We're not in that junior space. We're, that next level. And I think that retail investors are going to see a great flow of news that's going to be coming forward, and they're going to be able to follow the stock and really see the progression that we make as we check off our milestones.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to keep an eye on the story as it develops over the next few months, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today, Sophie.
Thank you.